What's up?
How are you today, Tom?
I am fine, thank you. So we have this horrible shooting going on in Vegas, and I'm asking just this really simple question. In the 19 teens, when cars started going fast enough that they could kill people, and it was regularly happening, as well as horses, killing horses, we decided, we need some common sense regulations of these things because people are dying. And so we came up with this three-part system. There were pieces around it, things like, red, green, yellow for lights and, stop signs as an octagon and all that. But the three principal parts were, if you want to be a driver, number one, the car has to be registered from the time it's manufactured until the time it's destroyed so that there's always a chain of custody. We always know whose car it is. Exactly. Number two, you have to prove that you understand the roads, the rules of the road. You have to pass a written test. You know what that red light means. And you have to prove that you actually know how to drive a car. You have to pass a proficiency exam. And number three, you have to have liability insurance so that if you kill somebody, even by accident, they're not totally screwed. I think it's completely crazy that 59 people are going to be facing an average of $100,000 hospital bill each, because it's the average cost to get shot in the United States with the ER and everything else. That, 59 people are going to be facing, $5.9 million worth of medical bills. And, if Geico... If the killer had killed 59 people, with a car as a crazed drunk driver, Geico would be writing $5.9 million worth of checks right now. And instead, these people are having to deal with this, with absolutely nothing. So what's wrong with my plan, Julio?
Well, listen, first of all, the left has been really quick, and I guess you're part of that, to politicize this event. I agree that we should.
What's political about what I'm suggesting?
Well, let me just go ahead and finish though, Tom. We should go ahead and close the loophole so that people cannot any longer purchase guns, at a gun show without going through some semblance of a background check. We do need that, but automatic weapons in this country were basically banned, since 1986. So as far as people obeying the law, people that are crazed criminals and are psychopathic and want to kill, in mass, like what we just experienced, they don't care about the law, first of all. So more laws restricting, law-abiding gun owners isn't necessarily going to help here.
That's the exact opposite of the logic that you guys use when it comes to drugs. You say, if with guns, if you ban guns, only criminals are going to get guns. But with drugs, if you ban drugs, you're going to stop people from using drugs.
No, what you do is you enforce immigration law and you keep a lot of the drugs out of this country that way. That's one way of doing it.
So then let's talk about keeping the guns out. If you don't want to talk about, licensing gun owners and registering guns and insuring gun owners, because you're not responding to what I suggested. But what you are saying is, hey, how many guns do we have and all this kind of thing. Why would any country allow weapons of war to be sold to civilians?
Well, they don't allow weapons of war. Listen, the Armalite rifle, the AR-15, which people, mistakenly, categorize as an assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle 15. It's an Armalite rifle. It's a sporting rifle. It's not an automatic weapon. It's not designed for mass shootings like what we just saw in Las Vegas. This is completely misguided.
It absolutely is, Julio. It was developed as a military rifle. This is just the civilian version of it, in as much as it's got a little softer contours and it doesn't have a full automatic mode.
Listen, that weapon that was used in Las Vegas was an automatic weapon. How he procured it and the details behind that is going to come out.
Oh no, he was using a bump. He was using they've got these contraptions that you drop the gun into, basically.
That's what they're saying. There's a lot of different things that you can use to modify some weapons. Some are legal.
But the question is, why are we allowing weapons of war? Listen, I shoot guns recreationally, but I don't need to be shooting an AR-15. I can.
Why not? I mean, why not? If you want to shoot an AR-15,
because it's bad for society. Because 59 people just died.
If you pass a background check and you're mentally stable and you don't have a criminal history of violence, there's nothing really prohibiting you from going ahead and owning a sporting rifle that's a semi-automatic weapon.
My point, I don't disagree with that, but if this guy, I mean, you know what a duck load is, Julio?
A duck load?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, there's basically rules for sporting. And one of the rules when you're hunting ducks, when you're shooting ducks, is you don't get more than either 2 or 3 shots. I forget which it is. I've never been a hunter, but I have friends who are. And so a duck load is the way that you load your shotgun. So that it's not possible to have more than those 2 or 3 shots, so that you're not playing an unfair game, right? You and the duck, or you and the people you're competing against. I don't see why somebody needs something with a 50 shot magazine in order to hunt ducks, or for that matter, to shoot skeet.
If you look at the spirit of the Second Amendment and why it was incorporated into the Bill of Rights and into the Constitution, it was to defend the private citizen, possibly against a tyrannical government. So
Julio,
you're not
that's complete BS.
a tyrannical government with
Julio,
a 9.
Stop for a second. Respectfully, I will, bow down to you and apologize to you on national television if I'm wrong about this. But I have read Madison's notes on the Constitution. I have read the Federalist Papers. I've written books about them. I've read the debates, particularly Patrick Henry's huge debate during the Virginia Ratifying Convention about the Second Amendment, specifically about the Second Amendment. I've written several articles about this.
Let me say Nazi Germany.
Nowhere.
What happened in Nazi Germany after they took away the
Hitler encouraged people to own guns.
What happened?
Hitler encouraged people to own guns, and those people showed up at beer halls and intimidated people. That's what happened. Hitler loosened the gun laws that were the old Weimar Republic gun laws. He forbade Jews owning guns, but that was it. But this is not about Hitler.
And this is why 6 million of them were killed as a result of the Holocaust.
There is none of our founders ever
I understand
in their wildest dreams. And I'm telling you, Julio, if you tried to take on the U.S. government with Black Hawk helicopters and special forces and SWAT teams, I don't care how many guns you've got, they're going to eat your lunch. They're just going to bust your ass.
Listen, ultimately, at the end of the day, any citizen who's sane, and I believe I'm all for the registration of guns. Your whole little diatribe there at the beginning when you were discussing and the parallels between a motor vehicle and a gun, it makes perfect sense. I agree with you, Tom. We're on the same page with that. You should have to register a gun, and we should track its chain of custody from when it's created all the way until when it's decommissioned or what have you. But anybody who is of sane mind can pass a background check, goes through gun safety courses and whatnot, should be able to go ahead and own a firearm.
Who needs though more than 7 or 9 bullets?
Why put a limit on it? Why?
Because the more bullets you have, the more destruction you can cause. There was a guy in I think it was in China, in Hong Kong, a couple of days ago, who tried to go on a mass killing spree with a knife. He wounded one guy and killed another. I mean, that's as far as he got.
Issue. Listen, Tom, if you have people that come into your home, let's say you have a problem with somebody, a gang or something. Let's say you live somewhere on the border and you're trying to take on the corruption with the drug gangs that are being allowed into this country, because of the obvious, quite frankly.
Well, let's say I live next door to somebody from the planet Xenu and they can
enforce immigration laws. If you have a gang coming into your house and it's multiple people with firearms, you're going to need a whole hell of a lot than 9 bullets.
I guarantee you, if you try to take on a gang coming into your house, you're going to lose.
Not necessarily.
And if you try to do it with a gun, you're crazy.
And how many rounds you have in your magazine.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds to me like we're agreeing that we can treat guns like cars. And that's a pretty big deal. You realize the NRA is opposed to all that.
I understand that. Yeah.
But what we're disagreeing on is high capacity magazines. Mm-hmm. Basically, that seems to be where we're disagreeing. I think high-capacity magazines
are not necessarily a problem as long as all those checks and balances are put into place and we know exactly.
But this guy bought these guns legally, and he was not on anybody's list.
What was that?
This guy, as far as we can tell, the early reports are that this guy bought at least some of these guns totally legally. He passed the background checks. He's got no history.
Well, there's some issues I think with loopholes as far as with selling guns.
This wasn't loopholes. This just this guy had no background that was a flag.
Well, we don't know that completely.
No,
yet.
obviously,
we have
I'm
to
not.
let the dust settle and find out exactly all the facts.
But see,
go ahead and pass
let's just say that every now and then somebody with nothing in their history to warn us is going to go nuts and kill as many people as they possibly can.
They could do that.
Why should we give them guns that allow them to kill 59 people rather than 5 people?
Listen, they could do that with a pressure cooker. They could do that in a lot of different ways. Obviously, you might have some things that slip through the cracks, but I don't think that you punish. In this country, I believe we have something around like close to 100 million legal gun owners that are law-abiding. Why should they be punished?
No, there's nothing close to 100 million. There's over 100 million guns, but there's
there's about 300 million guns in this country that are legally owned and registered.
Yeah, you're right. It's about the population of the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
In any case, it's it just seems to me crazy that we as I said, that you asked the question, why would I want to ban high capacity magazines? Because the only thing that high capacity magazines do is increase the ability of somebody to kill a lot of people really fast before they can get stopped.
Well, again, if we have if the proper system is in place and it's being executed faithfully.
Wait a minute. When were you a fan of government systems?
What was that?
Are you saying that if the government systems are appropriate, everything's good?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, you're always going to have people that slip through the cracks. Listen, he could have rented a giant truck and drove it right through where they were having that concert.
He could have had a shoulder-fired surface-to-air missile, and he could have easily killed more than 59 people. Oh, wait a minute. You can't own or buy or sell a surface-to-air missile in the United States, can you?
I don't understand that.
Maybe that's why he didn't have one.
Saying there, why would you even present that into the argument?
Because it is a weapon of war designed to kill people, just like these high-capacity clips and these.
Listen, the gun that he had,
weapons.
Still don't know 100% sure what weapons he had. He supposedly had bags of weapons. He had multiple weapons.
Yeah.
So you don't know exactly what he used, how he procured it, or what the situation was. But
okay, Julio, we got to wrap it up. Julio Rivera.